Oh, hello. How are you, Kelsey? Are you at work? Are you finished work? Yeah, gonna start World of Warcraft. What's on your agenda for today? You have to let me know if it looks laggy, if the sound is laggy. Putting the string on the laptop. Trying to do voice on mental health chat from the Discord. And going to Facebook and YouTube. Oh, man. I'm sorry that you're sick again. Kids are home with you. Yeah. Are they sick too then? I know that they were little vectors and got you sick, but I wasn't sure. Hopefully they're doing okay. But I was trying to stream to 2 different locations and just doing voice. Good. Sounds good. Trying to get back on a more regular schedule. I know I started earlier than 11 o'clock like I usually do, but I was playing around with settings and messing around with the YouTube side and figured I'd just go ahead and start. The quicker I start, the quicker people can pop in and say what they want to say and get on with the day. You know what I mean? So, the setup that I've got going now, got a little help from Amazon. There, a little $10 RGB light, doing some background stuff. They're sick, especially my oldest. He's coughing like a madman. Yeah. Oh. I don't know. I've said it multiple times before. Multivitamin with the right amount of zinc in it for their age level, and extra vitamin C. That's like the frontline treatment along with fluids that they do in the hospital for every illness. I mean, not just pandemic related, but it helps to maintain the immune system. And the vitamin B and D in the daily, like I take extra vitamin D because I'm old and I'm not outside as much. So, have you ever thought about doing actual YouTube videos or uploading RL videos? Yes, I have. That's partly what I designed the computer that I'm putting together for, was to do voiceover work and do real life videos, basically tell my stories and stuff. I think you do really well with that, along with the live video stuff. With me doing recordings, if I do it live, then it's out there, it's done, and I can't play around with it. If I do recordings, then I tend to obsess about all the little details and edit the crap out of it until I finally can't recognize what I was doing in the first place, and then I usually just get rid of it. So I've just got to get over that myself. Yeah, I'm drinking out of my wife's mug today. I don't necessarily know everything. I just have an opinion on everything. And sometimes you're lucky enough that I share them, and sometimes you're really lucky and I don't share them. So, got Macho Man over on YouTube. Appreciate it. Probably need the vitamins, honestly. I've been lacking any sort of beneficial nutrition lately. Yeah. I myself take a good generic multivitamin for my age category. I also supplement vitamin B, which is what most people get out of their energy drinks, other than the caffeine, is vitamin B complex, extra vitamin D, and we've added more high quality vitamin C to the. I look like Eddie Hall. I don't. I'd have to look that up. I'm sorry. I probably know who you're talking about, Macho Man, but not sure. Add extra vitamin C, and that the D, C, and zinc that's in the multivitamin really boost immune system. Even if you're already sick, it can augment, and then keep up that regimen through your rehabilitation stage of your illness. Even though you're feeling better, just keep taking that. There's no harm in the multivitamin zinc level and vitamin C and D. If you're not absorbing it, it's just being excreted anyway, so can't hurt. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist or anything like that, but that's what I do. Eddie is the world's strongest man. I'm at the other end of the spectrum, probably. The only muscle that I have is the table muscle that I've been working on down here. So, but I appreciate the compliment, though, Macho Man. I'll pop up his comments over here. This is what's being said. I know that on Facebook you can't see that, and vice versa. On YouTube, you can't see what Facebook's saying. So I do have the Discord. We have just the voice going over the Discord channel, and that way, if you guys are at work and I've got a live stream going like we do here, and it's covering a topic, or you're just bored at work and need somebody to be droning on in your ear to keep you awake, then you can listen on the Discord channel that way. I won't be able to hear anything as far as when a comment pops up over on the Discord, but you'll be able to hear and can pop in to either Facebook or YouTube, or if we're on Twitch, you can pop into there too. I won't be doing gaming voice on there. Obviously, that's pretty dull. Listening to me cuss and swear at sweaty first-person shooters are probably pretty dull to listen to. Well, it might be comical. It's stress-reducing for me, even though it sounds like I'm getting pissed, but it's actually pretty stress-reducing. But anyway, so part of the stream today was going to be about stress reduction and the things that people can do just to take a moment and kind of relax and reset. So basically, if you think about if you get to a point where you can have a quiet moment and you want to take like 2-3 minutes to sit back and relax for a moment. Maybe it's while you're waiting for a cup of tea to cool down or whatever beverage it is that you like to drink when you're relaxing. If you just sit back and focus on your breathing, taking a few deep breaths in through your nose and letting it out through your mouth, nice and slow. You want to get to be about 10 or 12 breaths for a minute. Hello, Tiffany. How are you? And just concentrate on your breathing, keeping your eyes closed and just listening for whatever sounds that you can hear and slowly tuning them out and just listening to the calming and relaxing breathing that you're doing. You don't want to be breathing fast and deep, just nice, normal respirations in through your nose and out through your mouth. Makes things a lot. Just that alone for 2 or 3 minutes is really relaxing. If you have any tension areas in your body, the best thing to do while you're doing your breathing exercise is to tense those muscles up, and for a count of 5, so like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, release that tension. It will allow those muscles to relax a bit more. When you have, if you have like muscle cramps or whatever, it's not going to work for that, obviously, but because those are a little bit more complex. Like Kelsey was having problems with a stiff neck and or torn muscle in her neck. If you think about how muscles work, it's kind of strange. It's like there's little fibers that stick off of each muscle fiber itself, and they grab onto each other and pull when you're tensing a muscle. Sometimes you over tense that muscle and those fibers don't release each other, and that's when you end up with like a muscle strain or a Charlie horse or whatever. And so that's how they end up sticking together, and you can't relax that without some heat and some maybe massage, and unfortunately sometimes it takes medication. So, but whoa, sorry, my kid's doctor called me back. It's lagging. Okay, I'm gonna cut out the Discord and we'll see if that helps. I'm gonna, just because Discord is being itself, I'm gonna quit Discord altogether and see if that helps. So it'll take a little bit to recuperate. So, but if you just have regular muscle tension while you're doing like the deep breathing exercise, if you tense those muscles up briefly and then let them go, like I said, for like a count of 5, it's easier for you to relax that way. And just 2 or 3 minutes of some nice deep breathing, but only at a rate of about 10 deep breaths a minute for those 2 or 3 minutes. That way you're not hyperventilating, your face doesn't start tingling and your fingers start tingling. You feel like you're going to pass out, because when you hyperventilate, that's exactly what happens. Your body says you're breathing too fast. We're not keeping enough carbon dioxide in our system, so we're going to go ahead and reset. You pass out, and then your body resets itself. That's how that works. It actually looks better over here. Good, because at first, when I was trying to do YouTube earlier, it kept pixelating on me, so the variable connection that I get from here, I'm supposed to be able to get a good solid, I think it was supposed to be 10 up and 5 down. It's a poor connection, but on average, whenever I test it, the best that I usually get is 8 up at the most, and I'm lucky to get above 3. Well, 8 down and 3 up, and it's the up that's the problem. But such is life. This isn't life ending if I can't get my stream to go out just perfectly, and I'm not going to be a millionaire. I realize that. And speaking of that, the Twitch, since they run things the way that they do and keep at least 50% of any subscriptions that you get, subscribers money, I think that this is that used to be me. Let me put that, at least part of it, up on the screen. I would pass out from a panic attack constantly before I learned to somewhat recognize and control breathing better. Yeah. Never say never. Oh, I appreciate you. But I would rather not saying I want to be greedy, but I don't want Jeff Bezos to get half of your money or more that you're putting towards anything that you think that I will be able to do well with it. Right now, it would just be adding to the system that I'm building, which partway through January, my wife gets the next installment on her bonus for moving over here to Florida, and that will definitely help out. But anytime, we're subject, just like anybody else is, to karma. Whenever you think that you have something that is this mystical thing called extra money, we've never found extra money, but we've looked for extra money before, and it's never shown up because something happens, and that money that you thought was extra money actually ends up getting spent just to keep yourself afloat, right? So, barring any other karmic trauma that happens, hopefully I'll be putting that computer together somewhere in the middle of January, and that's if the supply is still okay. I need half of the computer still. I've got the tower, I've got the video card, I have the CPU, and obviously I've got microphone, I've got some other trinkets and that, but yeah, repaying some stupid karmic debt always. Yep, that's us. That's what happens. But yeah, that's what the plan is so far. So as far as recording like videos and whatnot, I have several travel stories that people have enjoyed when I told them, and the only problem with me recording these funny stories is my timing, it's just like I'm doing stand up for one or two people. My timing is based on their reaction, and so I can keep a laugh going or keeping it interesting by running my timing off of how they're responding. And so that's where storytelling on a video without anyone there is difficult for me. So, but I mean, we've had several Griswold family vacation mishaps, let's put it that way. That even though it's just the two of us, it wasn't like the whole family with us all the time. But we have run across some very interesting situations that turned out just fine, obviously. But at the time, it seemed pretty traumatic. Yeah. So I would like to record those. Stuff seems to happen to me not only on travel, but Walmart people are a real thing. The pictures of the people of Walmart that you see online, all the memes and whatnot, that's a real thing, of course, because we've all been there. But people seem to ask me strange questions, or strange events happen around me when we're at Walmart. So there's several Walmart stories to tell, as well as just other stuff from years of being on an ambulance and years of helping people out of strange situations. So one particular story I'll tell you, since you're still here. There was an older paramedic, older than myself. He was a retired firefighter that worked for Salt Lake City Fire, but he worked for the private ambulance company that I used to work for on a part-time basis. And he told me this story, the strangest call that he had been on. There was a middle-aged man that I think, let's see here. I'll show this real quick since I'm not in the story. I think even videos explaining Fiona's story and her mini do would be awesome with some cute clips here. Yeah, that is a good idea. Appreciate that. The Dennis went on this call, and he says there's this middle-aged guy that lived with his mother, and he lived in her basement. And she had called, and they got a call of a possible unattended death. So they come to the front door, and instead of a panicked elderly woman, she comes to the door, says, "Go to the side porch. She's in the basement." And so they take all their stuff and go around to the side. And she says, "Before you go down there, everything that's down there, I have nothing to do with. That's all him. And I went downstairs to do laundry, and that's when I found him." So already, this is just odd. The woman's not upset. She seems more angry than upset. And she says, "Yeah, none of that's down there it has anything to do with me." Well, they get downstairs, and they go through like a beaded curtain, and immediately in front of them, there is a shelf that has probably 20 different Barbie dolls, all hand painted in different skin tones, have different very graphic features that have been painted on them, or just these dolls have all been altered and are basically anatomically correct, is the way that he put it. He's like, I don't know what kind of time this guy put in all of these. He says there's like a dozen or 2 dozen. He says they're just this shelf upon shelf. He says, and that's just one thing. He says there's all these model airplanes hanging from the ceiling as we're trying to find where this guy is. The lady says he's back in the bathroom. It's like, okay. People tend to either fall down in the bathroom and hit their head. They have a stroke and die if they're elderly on the toilet, or they slip and fall in the tub and, pass away for any number of reasons. That's just stuff that happens. But they have all these planes hanging from the ceiling, and every one of them has some hand-painted naked woman, or some of them have naked men painted on them, like the entire length of a plane, like a fighter jet or whatever, and they're all immaculate. There's just this collection of different artistic things, but all of it has to do with sex, basically. There's some other items that are off to one side that I won't explain, but they were obviously some sort of sex toy item. And they find the guy. He had died in the midst of some autoerotic asphyxiation in the bathroom. So he's like going in this story, he detailed it for like 45 minutes, just everything. He's just all these details. It's like he's finally able to tell somebody and be cathartic to another paramedic. And he's like, man, it's just the strangest thing. Says, and the guy that I had with me as my partner, says he's not a new EMT, but at the same time, everything is just like affecting him. He's just like absorbing everything as he goes around, like he's never seen anything like it before. This is this nice little Mormon EMT. Says he went to paramedic school or right after that, but says, I won't tell you who it was. He says, dang, it's just like everything is like this horror in his mind. And he says, and there's nothing that I can do about it except when we were talking about it afterwards, we had a good laugh. He says, but he says it was pretty traumatic for everybody. Now, flash forward about 8 years, we go on, my partner and I, who had been partners for probably 5 years by that time, we go on a call that's just a little bizarre. It's an unattended death. Just the manner in which they found this person, he didn't look like he had passed on, but he clearly had. So we're like, well, that's probably one of the more odd ones that I've ever been to. And my partner, Mark, says, well, that is nothing compared to this, other. And he goes through and I hear his side of the story and I get even more detail. He was the EMT at the time. He hadn't been to paramedic school yet. He says, I almost quit after that day. He says, because everything was just so strange, so bizarre and listening to everything that he saw that Denny didn't, it was just like, this scene was so weird. And to have been partners with Mark for 5 years and had this story in my head that I was going to tell him, except he told me the whole story first, and I let him go through the whole thing before I told him that I knew who his partner was that day, because I wanted to hear his side of the story. And it's just bizarre what some people are into, what some people do, how we find themselves. So I've always tried to sell the mantra. It's like, do whatever you want to be happy, but don't do anything that you wouldn't want to have to explain to the paramedic on the way to the emergency room, because it didn't turn out very well. It's a good rule of thumb. So if you can't feel comfortable explaining how you got yourself into that situation, you probably should stay out of it. Yeah, it's not exactly, I mean, for all I know, this guy is a perfect, upstanding person at work and had retired or had a military career or something that maybe distinguished his life, and then this was just his side thing, his way of relaxing or whatever. And then to be found that way is just, it's nightmarish for everyone. It's nightmarish for us. It's for the family, for the person. There's nothing good about that at all. But so the YouTube side isn't lagging very much, I guess. Or is it still lagging too, if I could ask? Ms. Mom Gaming. Yeah, exactly. It's like most people's sexual things they would like to keep in private. Most want to be put on display for everyone to see is just sad. It is. It most certainly is. It's not something that's easy, and there's aspects of every story that I have to change, because if I tell the story too completely, then if someone that knows this person can pick out the details and they say, oh, well, this is exactly why, I know it's this person, then I've violated their personal privacy rights. Well, unfortunately, that situation that I just described is, while it's unique to have everything that I could have described all in one location, it's not that uncommon. I've come across a lot of stuff. And to that end, there's so many people out there with mental illness that we find strange, bizarre, but it's their everyday life that they live in their head. And we put a label on it and say, mental illness, and try to get them help. And whether or not they follow through is another story. We got Tiffany. Hello, Tiff. How are you? But at the same time, some of the behaviors that people have tolerated from more prominent people out in public, I'm like, I've seen people end up in involuntary care centers for the same activity. If you are a popular public figure, they call it quirkiness or they call it oddness. But if you're not, then you end up in residential treatment and or jail. So I'm good, Tiff. How are you? How's it going this morning / almost afternoon? Well, not for you. It's still morning for you. So yeah, that's my where my experiences come from. Trying to walk the line between societal judgment and personal belief. It's like, oh yeah, Let's see. Oh yeah, people are weird. I had a friend who every square inch of their house was covered in really weird stuff, handmade statues, demented creatures, etc. Would have been weird had you not known the person's struggle. Yep, exactly. And I mean, there's some genius to stuff that I've seen too, and it's just um, so watching on Netflix, they have Jerry Seinfeld has comedians in cars getting coffee, where he talks to different comedians or comedic actors or whatever, and they share their stories, right? So he was with his co-star that played Kramer. I can't remember. It's Michael something. I can't remember his last name. He talked about this savant that he come across that plays chess. And the guy, he's like, all right, I wanted to give the guy you know, a handout a little bit. But I told him that I wanted to, he had a chessboard and he had it all set up. And I said, well, I'd like to play a game. And he's like, no, you can't win. So I'm not interested. And so he ended up talking the guy into playing. He says, all right, I will play you 2 games. He says, and if I beat you twice, that's it. I'm never playing you again. And so he sets up the game. The game's over in like 2 minutes. He has him beat just really, really fast. Bam, 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 bam. Every move, just checkmate. He says, I'll play you one more time. He says, one more time. If I can't beat you, then I have no use for you. Kind of like the Soup Nazi from their story, except from Seinfeld, except with chess. And so he sets up the other game. He says, I concentrated on every move, and he still beat me just like that. And he went on about his business. He talked to his friend, and he says, well, there's this guy. He's brilliant at chess and blah blah blah. He's like, oh yeah, that's such and such. He knew the name of the guy. He says, yeah, he's a savant, and he would be a ranked master, except he doesn't have the patience to play out a game with anybody to where he could be ranked or be assessed. And he's beaten everybody. He's never been beaten. So there are people like that out there just because they end up being homeless and living on the street due to other issues with their mental illness, they trudge around society. There's some really brilliant people out there that people won't approach because they just are odd or they're strange, whether they're homeless or they're a street artist or whether they're just some weirdo on a bus, in their minds. There's some really brilliant people out there that had I not been in emergency services, I would never have come across them. All right, Tiff, I'm good. Tired, was up till 1 a.m. playing Among Us. Yeah. So you switched over to that other person's game and ended up till 1 a.m. Wow. Yeah. Pop Mom says, I appreciate that kind of oddness. Yeah. It's actually refreshing to be around someone who is genuinely genius about something, about any one thing in their life. But at the same time, genius and obsession are 2 very closely related things. So, HRI 100. How are you? You're very odd. Everybody is. The sooner that people realize that there is no such thing as normal, the quicker that they can be happy about themselves. Like, what's Jeff Foxworthy said? It's, if you're ever feeling bad about yourself, if you're ever feeling down, he says, just go to a state fair. You walk around and look, you know what? Compared to everybody else, I'm pretty damn normal around here. just go to any public event and walk around and go, you know what? I'm not that bad. Just a personal view of what we've got going through. If you end up writing it on paper and you read 10 other people that do the same thing, you're probably like, you know what? I'm not that bad. I don't have that many problems. But so once in January and that, I'll be able to edit some more videos and put some sorry about that. That was a squeaky chair thing. Be able to put some more videos out, and relaxation videos. They're still the ones that I filmed in Colorado that are out here on the YouTube channel side, and there's also posted in the Discord too. You can feel free to pop into the Discord. Once you join, I'll end up giving you permissions to be able to see all these things. And so I'm one of the complaints that I got from the videos is they were filmed during the winter time in Colorado, and where it's seasonally okay right now. Sometimes in July, people don't want to still be seeing the snow-covered banks of the river there, the White River where I used to live. So gives people a little cold sensation, and that's all right. But it was mainly for the sounds that I ended up recording those. You'd have to dig a little bit deeper on the Facebook side to find them, but YouTube side, you can search, I think, on Facebook or on YouTube. If you just search Medic's Meditation Moment, you'll find them. Medic's Meditation Moment. It's a fairly unique combination of words for it to find, so it's good. But anyway, Mr. HR, if you feel comfortable, by all means, you can tell us what you think is so odd about you. Bot Mom says she needs to learn how to edit videos. Yeah, it's just a matter of finding a software. They're all very similar. Yeah, I need to find the time. There we go. That's more accurate to edit videos. Yeah. Just, they're all very similar. They all have different positives and negatives, but you just find one that you don't mind affording and just jump in. Mine, unfortunately, at the time, I didn't have a great amount of fonts loaded into that, so it ends up looking like a military thing instead of just a medic stream. I was never military. I was in public safety as a paramedic and an EMT for 30 years. So, HR. He says, I don't know exactly. I just feel that way. Yeah, and actually, you're probably just very self-aware of something that makes you uncomfortable. There's another one of my followers that he's like, well, I don't like talking really loud. He says, because, I'm missing some teeth, and I think that it really affects the way that I speak, and so I don't want people to make fun of me. And I said, dude, we've been talking on chat, just the two of us at a normal rate. I have no idea that you think that you sound like that. To me, you don't. And so he was hesitant to stream because of that too. And now it's because of time that he doesn't stream, but at least it's one less physical thing that he thinks that is glaring out there that, is bothering him, that he thinks that people are judging him for. Well, it was something he couldn't even perceive on my own. So, I mean, he didn't sound like Sylvester the cat or anything. So, you know what I mean? So, what you perceive to be weird about you may be something that nobody else perceives. And don't always think of oddness as being a negative thing. Sometimes it's what makes people interesting. You know what I mean? I mean, if, I was just going to add something silly to that, but I don't even know where to go with that. So I'll just let it lay there. One person's oddness is another person's attraction. So, but anyway, good times. What is everybody's plans for tonight? I know 2 of the 3 people that are watching right now play Among Us, whether on stream or off stream. Just wondering if you guys are going to try to do that tonight. Being a Monday night, who knows, everything with kids and getting them ready for school and whatnot. So I never set out to be weird. I was always other people who called me weird. Well, there's 2 schools of thought. Sorry, I was reading the next comment. The 2 schools of thought that I was thinking of is there are people that like to bring other people down to make themselves feel better. They're making judgments about other people to try to elevate themselves. And then the rest of the people that say stuff for whatever reason, I usually just say, screw them. If you don't need negativity in your life, don't absorb it. The only way that somebody can damage your self-worth and your self-pride is if you let them. And it's easier said than done, but if you don't give them the space in your head to occupy for free, then what effect did they really have on you? So I thought people wouldn't like me for so many reasons. I was wrong 99% of it. Well, you're probably 100% wrong of it. So, because there are those negative people out there. There are people that are just miserable and they enjoy making other people miserable. And we can feel sad for them. But at the same time, if they're a miserable prick, then sometimes it's worth investigating, trying to be nice to somebody, and sometimes they're just a miserable prick. It's not very mental health supportive, but there are some people out there that are just not willing to make a step to be a different person. They want to be miserable. Exactly. Like he said, just right here, misery loves company. Love to bring people down. So there are people out there, maybe some in your family, maybe not, that basically love to tear people down. They don't realize that they're necessarily doing it because the person that they grew up with did the same thing, and so they're passing it from their parents down to their children, and now their children are doing it to their children. And luckily, My children are very perceptive, and so are my wife's children. My we have Kate has two older children from her first marriage, and I have the two younger children, which the youngest is 18 now. So from my first marriage, and we have no children together except for fur babies. So, which I'm surprised Fee hasn't jumped up for any scratches or anything, because usually partway through me sitting here being very non-quiet storytelling, she likes to stick her head in and interrupt and try to get some scratches. But yeah, some people realize that they're miserable. They just don't know. They don't know how to break that cycle exactly. Um, and if I had not met my wife, I would probably still be in that miserable cycle myself. Um, since I had met Kate, I've traveled to probably half a dozen or more countries that I would never have seen had I not. I mean, I lived in the United Arab Emirates for almost a year and a half because she got the opportunity to go there on a contract and help take care of people and open a brand new hospital in Abu Dhabi, the main presidential emirate in the United Arab Emirates, which by happenstance, their country's birthday is December 2nd, which was my birthday. And so every year there's fireworks all over all the Emirates on my birthday. They founded their country in 1971, and my birthday was I was born in 1970. So I know exactly how old the United Arab Emirates is every year, right? Because it's 1 year less than my own age. Appreciate that. Thank you very much for the birthday wishes. And Bot Mom and Tiffany and several other streamer slash gamer slash friends. I probably had more people give me birthday wishes and or recognize my birthday this past year than probably in the last 30 years. So it was a good day, even if that was all that was good about it. That was a great day. So, but anyway, I would never have traveled. I would never have accumulated the travel stories that I do want to record and put out there. And it's all a matter of you can accomplish something if you put your mind to it, is what people say. But if you're also willing to make sacrifices to accomplish something, appreciate it. So I mean, there's been several times where we wanted to travel, let's say, to Disneyland because we bought season passports to Disneyland in California. We lived in Utah, 10.5 hour drive away. And there have been several times where we basically went there and, we ate cheese and crackers and spent time in Southern California when it was winter in Utah. And maybe when we got back, we had a couple of weeks of ramen noodles, but we had a great experience. We were together, and what else can you say? You can get things if you're willing to go through the discomfort that it takes to get there. Sometimes, you know what I mean. But whatever it takes, sometimes you have to be able to have a goal. You have to be able to be looking forward to something, so that when you do hit a rough spot, you know that, hey, you know what, if I make it just this much farther, then this is what we have planned. So on this past Wednesday, we were supposed to go to Disney World. Excuse me. We had bought tickets. It was a Florida resident ticket, where we had 4 visits for basically the price of one. And our last visit was supposed to be on my birthday. Well, I made the rational judgment. It's like, let's not go because our finances are really low, and there's no reason to be miserable for a couple of weeks just to go when we've already been 3 other times, or 3 other parks, park visits anyway, this last 3 or 4 months. So we're going to end up going this Wednesday, and it'll be better because now it's not as hot. We know what we want to see when we go back to Hollywood Studios. There's no reservations that are available for restaurants or anything, but we always seem to manage to find our way into a canceled booking or something. So there's always something that happens out there. Oh yeah, you are right. A man without a goal is like a ship without a rudder. And you don't have to set huge goals either. Like, it's like if I get my computer built, then I can buy this other game that I want. Or I bought this other game, and once I get my computer built, I can install it, and now I can play on that game. So it's something small, but I want to do Grand Theft Auto roleplay, and I'm still trying to decide what kind of a character I would be. Yeah. So I just saw the comment afterwards. I want to go to Harry Potter World at Universal. Yeah. I mean, it's really cool. When we went, a lot of it was shut down, and we still have a ticket where we could go back at no cost. We could have been, going back unlimited until, I think, Christmas Eve, or the day before Christmas Eve. It might be the 22nd of December or the 23rd. I can't remember. I'll have to look. But if I like to go places with adults that don't necessarily go to theme parks. It's a lot funner to experience a theme park when you are the main participant and not necessarily small kids. I'm not saying I don't like going places with kids, but it's often fun to go with an adult someplace that they don't normally go to. So that's what I was laughing at. I just caught sight of it. I didn't see the quote above it. But Expecto Patronum caught my eye. Yeah. Get the Patronus charm. So last time I went, it was all under construction. Yeah. And so we got in line for a ride, and I didn't realize that it was Hagrid's Escape or something. I can't remember the name of the thing. Basically, it's a roller coaster that you ride sitting. One of you's on a motorcycle, and the other one's in the sidecar. And I used to love roller coasters, but now roller coasters don't really like me so much. I get kind of motion sick sometimes, and we had already been in line. We were so far up, that I'm just like, screw it, let's just go. Let's go on it. Because my wife likes roller coasters too. It just doesn't affect her the same way it does me. No. Thank God. I did not throw up. And that's part of my problem too, is in early on in my childhood, I was so sick during winters and threw up a lot that it's not that I don't have the ability to, but I have to be near death before I end up throwing up. And so that's one of the things, is after I get motion sick, I'm just miserable because I can't throw up. In my own brain, I can't. And so I'm just miserable after that. But it was a pretty cool ride. Part of it, you end up going backwards while the track adjusts, and you end up going down underneath the track that you just went up and then came back down on. So there is that. I just was glad that it didn't go backwards through the whole damn ride like Expedition Everest does. When I rode that one with my wife, it was for her birthday when we went to Disney World, probably, I think it was probably 6 years ago. I was miserable after that for probably half the day. I never vomit, even with the stomach virus. It's extremely rare that I actually can. Sometimes I get sick and I just want to puke, but you can't. Exactly. I mean, that's the thing. Everyone's like, well, you'll feel better if you throw up. Well, yeah, I bet I would, but I physically cannot make myself do it. It's literally a mind over matter thing, I realize, but I just physically can't make myself do it. So, but I do enjoy, yeah, I just can't manually make myself throw up. It doesn't work for me either. I have a horrible gag reflex. It just means I gag. I just don't throw up. So, but, so yeah, we're going back to Hollywood Studios on Wednesday, and we're going to try to get on the Rise of the Resistance, and I probably will do the Millennium Falcon ride again, the Smuggler's Run. That was fun in California. We did that when we went last summer. We went from talking about theme parks to vomit. I love it. And we're segueing back into what I'm doing to change the subject back. Yeah. We're not talking about vomit anymore. But I guess Smuggler's Run is kind of a 3D thing, and I could. But anyway, regardless, we're not talking about puking anymore. That's partly my main goals for Wednesday, and going back and riding some other rides that we wanted to, but when we went, God, I wanted to say that it was August when we first went. It was just hot and humid and muggy, and the parks were open but not completely open, and the stuff was still closed. Some shops weren't open. Universal was more closed up as far as shops go. And so Wizarding World of Harry Potter, there was probably only 2 shops open, one on either end of the park. So yeah, it was super hot in August. It was miserable. And of course, sometimes the worst month for Florida in August. Yeah. It was September that we went, because it was we went August we went to Disney, and September we went to Universal, and it was miserable. Both both times actually, because it was so hot. Um, Universal, they had a lot of restaurants and shops closed. It was it was not that great, but I'm sure it's gotten better now. Good morning, morning, Vern. How are you? How you doing? Um, but so Hollywood Studios is our destination for Wednesday, and hopefully we'll hit quite a few more rides than we did this last time that we went. Um, but like I was saying, making a plan to do anything, to have something to look forward to, small, large, whatever. It You got to have something to look forward to, otherwise, you know, you make yourself miserable just in your everyday non-escape. I mean, an escape could just be taking your dog to the dog park for an hour and not worrying about whatever's going on anywhere else except for just what's going on right then. Distraction is fine as long as it doesn't affect your reality later too much. You know what I mean? Let's see. I want Christmas to be gone and COVID to go itself. These are, yep, they're messed up times. Um, it would be great if it would. Most definitely. It'd make life a lot easier for everybody else. But it is what it is, and we have to deal with what we have to deal with. So, but anyway, I really need to take a quick break. And so I'm going to pause the video, especially for just a moment, and I shall return if you guys don't mind. Hopefully, you're still hanging out. If any of you have to take off, I understand. You know, you got stuff to do, you got places to be, but I'm just glad that you showed up here. You could be anywhere, but right now you're here, and so that's awesome. I appreciate you. All right, I will be back All right, we are back. Ooh, hey, 2 extra people. Maybe I should show the blue screen more often to get more viewership. Just kidding. I still have to look at my face. All right, so we are back. So I had discussed earlier in the stream when there was just a couple of people hanging out. We were talking about like the relaxation, like deep breathing exercise, even if it's just for like 2 minutes. If you can take 2 minutes out of your busy day to try to relax, setting lights at a decent level, just basically being able to sit back and close your eyes and take some deep breaths. Just don't breathe too fast, don't hyperventilate, and just focus on the sound of your breathing. And if you're able to hear your heartbeat without plugging your ears, feel the rhythm of your heartbeat. Take a few deep breaths, about 10 a minute, no more. Breathe in for a count of 5 and then hold it briefly and then let it out through your mouth for however long it takes. Nice count of 5 in between. Take a deep breath in through your nose and then back out through your mouth. After count of 5, breathing in with a hold at the end and then going back out. Now the pause at the end basically makes you more self-aware of how much breath you have in your lungs. You'll be able to feel your heartbeat while you're holding your breath for just that few seconds, and then letting it out slowly through your mouth will promote oxygen generation, more oxygen into your system. You won't blow off all the extra CO2, which would give you muscle cramps, tingling, numbness in your fingers and tingling and possibly fainting. But it allows you to be more aware of how you're breathing, that your heart's beating. Like I said, you can even set a timer for like 3 minutes and just sit back, close your eyes, and just focus on your breathing and your heartbeat, and you'll be surprised how re-energizing just that can be, how simple that can be. I do it several times. Sometimes I do it right in the middle of our Among Us games, to be honest with you. After I've been killed first for the 6th or 7th time, I just do my little breathing exercise, and then I begin to do my tasks as a ghost. Then I don't have to worry about walls anymore. So there's a positive to it, even though I would rather be the imposter than be the victim. It's still fun. It's still enjoyable. We still have a really good group of people that play. Another thing to look forward to after the computer's fixed, my internet connection will still be whatever it is, but the game play, hopefully I'll be able to stream it from this more powerful PC. Even if it's glitchy, I don't care. It's fun. It's something to do, and it won't be glitchy on my end. It'll be glitchy on somebody else's end. But as long as it doesn't affect gameplay, I'm looking forward to it. Is there anything that anybody else is looking forward to, or they have set as a short-term goal? I'm not talking about world peace here or anything like that. I'm just talking about something that's actually obtainable quickly. So, but Vern, you are in the middle of your workday, I bet. Are you at your lunch? Are you doing okay that way? I was yattling on and was drying out, and I ran out of coffee a while ago, so it's time to switch to cooler beverages until I start freezing because it's raining here, and then I have to switch back to tea or something. I don't usually run cold, but lately it's been really chilly. Oh, it's on days off. That's always good. That is nice. Well, the weather here the last couple of days have been prohibitive as far as going outside. So, Vern's got some headaches going on. Yep. Bot Mom can identify with that. She's over on the YouTube side. She probably can see it on the Facebook side too, but she has a medical condition where she gets headaches, and she knows the cause of them though. So, but she can identify with how much of a pain a headache can be to disrupt everything, not just your day, but everything. But anyway, so what else is happening with anybody else? I notice we've got 2 people that are still on in Facebook, so that means there's 2 on the YouTube side. So that's interesting to me. Great to have participation on multiple platforms. Like I was saying, if anybody is on the Twitch side, I'm kind of getting to the point of not wanting to be an associate over there. They take 50% of anything that anybody donates, whether it's bits or a subscription, and they won't pay it out until you like hit the $100 mark for you to get paid out, which means, pardon me, then that's after you've accumulated $200. So I don't like that. I don't like that for the reason that I'm not expecting a lot of income from this by any means, but for them to keep 50% of it, and also put a time frame on it to where they're going to hold on to the money as long as possible. I mean, I know everybody else has like a 45-day cycle. Like you could donate $10 on Facebook, and if you did it today, it's got to wait not the completion of the cycle that you're in, but the completion of the next cycle, however long that is. I understand that. That's the way that dear departed Mixer did their things too. And so they got some sub money and they didn't have to pay it out. They disappeared. So yeah, I'm putting okay. I had a visual. Considering putting some Alka-Seltzer in my mouth, going to local Walmart and screaming, "Virus is mutated." It'll probably do some jail time, but whatever you have to do to spice up your day that's not going to hurt somebody else or hurt yourself, why not? We were talking about people of Walmart, actually, and it would probably warrant a video on people of Walmart instead of just a picture, that's for sure. I mean, as far as support goes for stream or anything, that the small gift card thing from Amazon, or I have a Cash App thing for people to use, and I would rather have them do that and be able to use your your kid got a hold of the keyboard. Yeah, no problem. That's all right. We understand. Yeah, I would rather have the funds be used for exactly what you think that they're going to be used for instead of going into somebody else's pocket. So I would rather not have subs through Twitch. And I don't have the ability through Facebook as of yet, but definitely would like to be able to utilize the funds the way that you think that they're being utilized, not half of what you put out is going to be utilized while the other half goes to somebody else's pocketbook. If that makes sense. I mean, anyway, good times. So if you have a Twitch sub for me, I have to get with Made Canadian and make sure that he deactivates his, but know the time to make sure that it doesn't get re-upped automatically. That's my message for today as well. Oh, let's see. So we are almost at noon. That would be why my stomach is grumbling, and because I'm just feeding it coffee and soda. I am going to wrap this up. If anybody has any questions, any comments that they want to throw out, you can always send them to the email, which is seasonedmedic@outlook.com. Spelled that very unique and witty way that I have, Seasoned Medic, or join the Discord, which you do have to have the ending there exactly as it's written. You need the capitals and the lowercase in order to find it. I could put out also the Seasoned Medic and the last 4 digits of my personal Discord, but this is just as easy, really. Anyway, let's see. Yeah. Need to deal with my daughter's dog. She's at work and the dog is lonely. Silly dog. Yeah, screw Twitch. Jeff Bezos doesn't need any more of your money or mine. So, anyway, like I said, if you guys have any ideas of topics, or one of these days we'll end up doing like a live question answer thing with Bot Mom, if she can come up with things that she wants to discuss, and or most importantly, if you're being asked to be interviewed on the stream, is to set whatever limits we want to set so that we don't get too personal. We get personal as much as you want to, and we don't cross any lines or breach any barriers that don't need to be breached. So be thinking about that. And we'll get back together again, hopefully on Wednesday. I might stream some gameplay and help make me feel better about having the pretty light there to reflect colors off the back wall. I think do a would you rather episode. Yeah, you might help me write some of those situations down, because I'm not great at would you rather. I am more uh, like, this is what happened to me, how would you deal with it type situations. I guess I'm not as creative like that way, I guess, is what I'm. My brain is very analytical, but I need help with the would you rather. And I mean, we could also do some other straight up games that are similar to would you rather, um, and stream them as well. I do have on the Xbox, I have some of the Jackbox party games. We could do those on a a daily stream, because it only has to run off of my Xbox. You guys can answer questions and join with just your computer, so you'd be able to participate as an audience member or as a game participant, as long as I still have the Jackbox games through Game Pass. I have not actually purchased them, but that's good fun. I did that on other streams with other people, and that's what made me want to grab those. All right. Well, I guess I am going to let you all go now. I didn't notice that the music had stopped. I guess they got tired of being ignored. So I'll turn it up for now, and appreciate all of you that had come in. Bot Mom, also known as Kelsey. We had Tiffany stopped in. Vern is still here, or he might be out trying to wrangle his daughter's lonely dog. Had HR stop by from YouTube, and other people that may or may not have. Oh, we had Mrs. Sticky that stuck her nose in as well and said hey. We're Biomedic. We'll talk to you at some point. Gonna try rice socks. That works very well. Put two socks, like a pair, and that way there's just another barrier for the moisture from the rice to stay in longer. So I do two socks, so one pair at least. And don't go too hot, because remember, the heat is going to be in the middle of the rice, so shake it around before you put it on your neck. Otherwise, you're going to get a burn. We'll come back on Wednesday with a chat stream, maybe, and or we might try playing the party game too. Make people's lunchtime break a little bit more interesting. Appreciate everybody that did participate, that did show up, and those that are just watching it being on record. So if you're seeing this being on Facebook or YouTube as a replay, I'd appreciate a comment. Let me know that it's actual. Yeah, I need a tubular sock. What shape are your socks? Oh, you need just a tube sock. Gotcha. I'm like, aren't all socks basically tubes? I won't give you any more crap. If you have any essential oil that you like, if you put a drop or two on the rice, as long as it's not too strong, it makes it a little bit more pleasant experience too. Just saying. We'll be back on Wednesday. I might start a little bit early like I did today, and then instead of just going for an hour from 11 to 12. Tubular is a weird word. Yep. Especially from someone from my era during my teen years, everything was tubular, dude. That was just bitchin'. So, that's what I think of when someone says tubular. It's just that valley speak that everything comes out as a question. It was so tubular. That's what comes to my mind. But all right, now that puppy dog wants some attention, we'll finish off with the puppy love. Come on, hop up. Come in. Come here. Come in. Hop up. There you go. Get the puppy face on the camera. Oh, thank you for kisses. Oh my gosh. Oh gosh. Need some ear rubbing. Some neck scratches. She likes the neck scratches. You get another kiss? Come on. Good kiss. Oh, thank you. Thank you so very much. Oh, she likes hugs too. Good girl. All right, I'll take you out too. All right. Clip. Appreciate you. All right, you guys have a good day, not just because I said so, but because you all deserve it. All right. We'll talk to you again